All right. So I'm going to show you guys how you can create an account using Flutterflow. So this is Flutterflow here. So once you are on this website, you can go on the website flutterflow.io. Then you can create sign. Okay. Actually, I'm going to start for free. So you can either use your details, enter your details directly, or you can log in with a Gmail. So I'm going to make use of Gmail so that I can log in very fast. I need to get my verification code there. I need to use another account here. So. Oh, okay. I already have an account, so I'm just going to make use of my account. So this is not going to delay anything. So okay. Okay. Okay, so if you are opening your account for the first time, you're not going to see anything on your screen. So all of these are going to be blank. So these are some projects I've worked on. So now this is the interface that you're going to first see. These are the projects here. So then we have a marketplace here where you can see some app examples, people that develop some apps UI which you can implement in your applications. So so all of these are apps. Then templates app are also here. So and then you can also create one also. So then this is organization in case probably you are working for a company and they purchase the subscription plan of organization. Then you can collaborate with your teams here. Then also the team code. So in case if anybody should implement any code, then you'll be able to reuse those code inside of your project. And this is where you're going to see all of those things. Then this team assets, these are the images or audio files that you import using from this. You can see all of those things from here. So basically, these are team design library and team API library also. So these are also resources, documentations, help center for Flutterflow, then YouTube tutorials from Flutterflow themselves also. Then if you want to join any channels, Discord channel, YouTube, Flutterflow community also. So these are the resources here. So now we are going to start with a project. I'm going to be creating a new project here. So I'm going to be calling it Git class. So I'm going to be starting afresh. So this is the first page that you're going to see. So now this is app bar here, and this is a column here. So this place is called the scaffold. So I hope you guys have your pens and paper, so you're adjusting all of this down, because these are very, very important for you to know. Although there's going to be written documents concerning this tutorial. Also, we are going to be making use of we are going to be uploading these videos also on YouTube, so you guys can watch over the video. You can watch it, then you can be able to follow the video too. So this is the interface here, like I said. Now these are layout components. Now, like we have here, commonly used elements. So these are text widgets, column widgets. So like we have like I said flutterflow actually comes from Flutter, because they make use of Flutter development kits, develop flutterflow. So all of the components Flutter are basically made up of widgets. So these are widgets too. So for instance, this is a container here. I can drag this container here. Then so this container can have, so we have this part or this section of the screen here. This is just for laying out your widgets. Then if you need to style your widgets, so this is the part that you're going to come to style your widgets. So for instance, this is padding. I can decide to give this padding 20 padding, so 20 left padding also. So this is padding here. So this is the container here. So I can decide to make the container in a round shape. Then also I can decide to change the color of the container. If you see here, this is fill color, so I can decide to change it to this color. So this is it here. So now so basically all of these parts, they are for laying out your components on your screen. This is a column here. So column can be here. So there's already a column inside of this page already. So I can decide to, now these all widgets here, they are actually laying out, they are coming to this side. I can decide to make this spread so that it can be in the middle. Now this is it here. So then we have a list view. These are commonly used widgets that you are going to be making use of in everyday projects. So we have grid view, we have expandable, we have all of these widgets. Please, after this class, you can just register your own flutterflow account, then create a project and try out all of these widgets. These are just a layout widgets that you constantly be using on your projects. And if you need to style them, you just come to this side, just the way I style this container here. So you can just come to this style, then style your widgets. So then also, so we talked about projects. Now this is project that we talked about. Then the settings and integrations. Now this is where the sets. Okay, now I need to explain these parts. Now this is the widget tree. I talked about widget tree the other time. So every component that you add to this screen here, you're going to be seeing the widgets here. You're going to be seeing it here. So widget tree is basically all of the components that you added, widgets that you added inside of the screen. So they are going to be aligned inside of a tree, just like segments of every, like we have, for instance, this is a column. Now this column serves as a model for all of these other widgets here, because it holds this container and also holds another column inside. Now, like I told you also, this is an app bar. So app bar, for instance, let me show you this project here. So I'm going to do something so that you can see it very well. So for instance, if you look at this this screen here, this app here, I'm going to go to the home page. So this screen here that you see here, where you can be able to see the time and also the battery and this Wi-Fi here. So this actually now this which this image I will see here, and also this icon here, these are all aligned inside of an app bar. So app bar will prevent this from going through the screen, whereby it's going to block all of this part. So that's the function of an app bar. is to make many widgets that you put, any widget that you want to put at the top of your screen, and you don't want, for instance, when I scroll on this screen now, all of this, so it's not going towards this side. This app bar actually stays here, it's going to stick there. So that's the function of an app bar, and it's going to prevent any overflow to this section of the screen. So that's the function of an app bar. So you are going to make use of an app bar in your project often. So if I should add another widget, I can decide to add another widget from this place. So for instance, inside of this column, I can decide to add another widget, which is test widget. Then I can change my test widget to anything. So please, I need to know if you guys are on. If you are getting what I'm saying, please just signal out by saying type I understand what you are saying. Just type it in the comment section, then I'll be able to know that you guys are getting things I'm saying here. Yeah, of course. I'm recording the screen, so you guys, I'm going to upload it on the YouTube channel. Then you guys can be able to watch it directly from the YouTube channel. So and also there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be a documentation. A written content concerning it, where you guys can be able to go on Medium platform, then read through the things that we talked about today. So I'm going to continue now. So now this is our widget tree. So and this is the widget test widget I added now. So then I'm going to go to this next tab here. So now this is where you're going to see all of your pages. Now this page here is just an home page. So this is once you create a project, so automatically this is going to create an home page for you. So now you can decide to add, for instance, let's say I want to add a login screen. So I can decide to create another login screen here. If you hover through it, on top of it, then you see new page, and this is when you want to add another folder. So this here is components, and also this here is pages. So then this is also page and components. So you can see all your pages and components here. So I'm going to add another screen, another page, and I'm going to call this page I'm going to call it a login page. Okay, I need to create a blank. I'll call it login page. So if you take notes of the way I named this, I actually name it in a camel case. We call this camel case, meaning your first, when you are starting, you want to create a new page, you make sure that your name starts with capital letter. Also the next word that after it should start with capital letter, and there's not going to be space. So this is actually, it might not be really important for you on flutterflow currently, but once we start exporting our code out and you start working from flutter end, then you understand that this is actually very important. So we create a new page now. Now this is a login page that we created. Now an app bar is automatically added, so you can decide not to put an app bar, because for instance a login screen doesn't used to have an app bar. So I can decide to just remove this app bar. Now a column is automatically added inside. I can also remove this column. So now what we are left here, if you check the widget tree here now, the only thing that we have is just a page, which is scaffold. This page alone, like this, without anything inside, is called a scaffold. If you look towards this screen here, you see the name scaffold, and this is the name of the page. So and this is the name of the page here. So for instance, if let's say I want to create a login screen now, what I need to do is I can just come to the page. I can actually click here. From here I can see all the widgets, or I go to this place here and see the widgets that I need to use. So I can decide to drag a column. So inside of this column, then I can also add another widget which is called a test field. So the function of test field, what test field does is, although this is just a brief introduction to flutterflow, so I'm still going to go in. I'm still going to teach you guys how to use all of these components and I mean the widgets. So this is just an introduction to it all. So this is a test feed widget. Test feed widget actually makes you to makes you to take an input from a user. So whenever a user wants to enter their login emails or a password, so you are going to make use of test field widget. So this column, I can decide to style this column here. I can make all the children inside of the column to be in the center. Can you see it here? Then I can give it a padding of both left and right side, 15 pixels, 15 pixels. So the text field is here. Then I can decide to style this text field widget also. So I can make, if you check, you can just scroll down through all of these components. We can see here we have padding, we have expansion, we have alignments. So then we have the width also, we have mask line and minimum lines. So we have colors in case you want to style the text colors inside. So inside of the properties, so we have label property. So in case you want to label it, like for instance I can decide to say email label. So this is going to have email. If you look at it, this top here is email. You will see email now. Okay, this is email. Now is at the top here. So then also the int properties, this is the some int test here, so I can decide to change it to enter your email. So can you see? Then also you can decide to change the test style. So you can decide to play with this. Then you can change the primary font family. You can decide to change anyone here. I can decide to use open sans, so you're going to change here. So I can decide to change the text color also, which is this color here. So then also the input decoration. So now currently now is called underline decoration. So if you look at this input decoration is underline, so I can decide to make it outline. So if you look at outline now, I'm going to give it, now outline is going to have some properties that I can set also. Now border color, I can decide to give it this color for border color. Then I can also make opacity to reduce the opacity here. So then the focus border too, also I can decide to give it this color too. Then the error border, so all of these things you are going to see all of them, so it's not an issue. So now the also border radius, I can decide to give it let me make it 10. So all sides should be 10. Then the content padding and all of it. So if I overthrow it now, you can see the outcome of it here. So if I then also I'm going to add another widget to this widget. So now we already have our widgets builder, UI builder here, so where you can add widgets. So I can decide to add a button. So if you type button, you can see it, or you can search for button, and you can also scroll through it, and you'll see button also. So I'm just going to search for fast approach. So then this is the button here. I can decide, then I can change this button to login. Say login. Then I can change the properties, the color of this button. I can decide to give it this color. Use the color. Then I can make this button. I want this button to take the width, the full width of this column. So now this is the width here. I can give it full width. This is the width now. So and I want this button to I want to add space between this button and text field. So I can decide to add just a little bit spacing at it, which is going to be padding. So I think something happened now. The height of the button actually changed. So the height changed, then I'm going to give it 40 now. So then the button padding, maybe I'm going to add the padding on this side, so maybe at the bottom here. So now there's space between them. Now if I'm going to preview this this layout that we've done here, and you can see the outcome of it. Someone is saying, are we using VS Code? No, we are not using VS Code. This is a web tools whereby you only make use of a browser to build your applications. You don't need to download any additional kits for you to start building applications. So by checking the preview now, you can see the preview. So now you can decide to enter any name at something.com. So this is it. Then you can decide to log in. So that's how it works. So this is not how login, authentication works generally, but this is just an example of how you can use test field widget and also a button. So now that's that about test field widgets and a button. So now we're going to come to this side. So this part is actually just introduced in flutterflow. So this is actually just to show a storyboard of the way you are building your apps. So now we're going to go to the next part. Now this is where we call, okay, now this is where we have our database. Now, so this part is actually going to bring us to introduction to, okay, settings. First of all, let me go through the settings before I come to this database. So this is the settings. This is app settings here. Now this is like we all know, on your app, on your mobile app, you can decide to change to dark theme mode, and you can decide to change to light theme mode. So this is the part that you set your primary mode, like we have for light theme mode and also for dark mode theme here. So this is where you set for, like, this is primary color, secondary color, tertiary colors, and all of it. So you can decide to set all of those same colors right here. So now, like I said, also we have a nav bar and app bar. So nav bar, what nav bar is generally, if you look at this code, it's this application here, this is what nav bar is. So this nav bar here. If I should click here, you can see it takes me to this part, and if I click here, it's going to take me to the chat screen. So this is what nav bar does. So now, and also like I said, app bar is always at the top. App bar does, it blocks, it doesn't make your widget to overflow to the top of this screen, where so that you can be able to see the time and also the icons at the top. So that's what app bar and nav bar, what they are used for. So you can decide to change their styling in this part of the screen here. Now your app details. Now, like I said, when we started this project, I named the project Git class 1. So this is where you have your Git class 1, and the package name also we'll be looking at this too very soon. Then optional display name. Now the initial page is the page once you log into your app, the first page that is going to load, which is going to be the home page. Yeah, you can decide to change it to login screen or home page here. Now folder organization, that one is there too. Deep linking, we are going to be looking at this too. So app assets is just for instance, I'm going to reload this application here. First of all, I need to correct something here. So if you look at generally, if you look at applications, once you run an application on your phone, there is always a logo that is going to first show. After that logo, then you can now see your screen, maybe like the home page or the login page. So that's what a splash screen is for. So splash screen is the first screen that you first see on the app. Once you launch it, it's going to show for just few seconds, then it's going to disappear. So that's what splash screen is. So you can upload an image for the splash screen. Now the launch icon. Now I'm going to show you the launch icon here. So if I go to my, now the launch icon, now this is launch icon here. So because this generally when you are developing an applications, this is what you first see. If you don't have a launch icon, you are going to see this. Now for instance, this is also a launch icon here. So that's what launch icon is. Then we also have collaboration in case you want to collaborate with anybody on your project. Now Firebase, this is our next topic that we're going to talk about now today. Then also language, if you want to make use of different language in your applications. Platforms also. Now if you, like I said flutterflow, you can make use of flutterflow to develop application for Android, iOS, web application, Mac OS, Windows Alpha, and then Linux. So flutterflow also makes use, you can use flutterflow to develop all of those platforms too. Then permissions, these are permissions, we'll be going deeper into this also. Then authentication. So now authentication has to do with before you allow if a user wants to log into your application and you want to authenticate them. So like you want to prevent, like you don't want any like you want to get the details before they can make use of your application. So that's what authentication is. So they have to enter email and password. Then so that's what authentication is. Yeah. Push notification is just whenever, like for instance your WhatsApp, the WhatsApp that we make use of. So when someone sends you a message, you see a pop-up at the top of your screen saying this person messaged you. So that's what push notification is. So we're going to be looking at that too. So now this is app deployments, like I said. So you can publish your app application from Flutterflow directly to App Store and Play Store. So for instance, if you are, for instance, this kind of app now, before you can actually, like for you to publish your application to App Store or Play Store, it's going to really, really, really be stressful, and it's not just any other person can even do it. Someone with experience, because at the point they are going to reject the app or stuff like that. So now Flutterflow will make it easier for you to deploy your application to App Store or Play Store easily. Now web publishing, in case you want to develop for web applications, so your URL, SEO title, and all of it, this is where you do all the settings. Now we have some integrations here. So for instance, we have Stripe. If you want to make use of Stripe payments in your application, we have Brainy. This is another payments platform. Revenue cards. Superbase. This is another database. Then we have GitHub for pushing your code so that your code you can just save your code on cloud. Algolia. This is for searching of your, in case you have a lot of data in your database, so and you want to search quickly through them, so you can make use of Algolia. Google Analytics, Firebase remote configs, and all of this. We're going to be looking at all of these. Google Map also, then AdMob and Moz live stream. If you want to have a live stream, just like Zoom call, so you make use of these extensions inside of your applications. So now that takes me to our next topic here, which is going to be introduction to Firebase. So I need to ask you guys if you guys if you understand what I've been saying, please signify, or you have a question before I move to Firebase. You can type it, or you signify that you have a question, or okay, Tosin Daniel, please. You can unmute your mic and talk. Tosin Daniel. Hello, please. Are you guys hearing me? Do you have any question concerning Flutterflow? Because I'm about to move to another section now. Hello. Please, I want you guys to comment on the comment sections. So let me know. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about Firebase. Now Firebase is Firebase is an app development platform that helps you to build and grow apps and games user love, backend by Google and trusted by millions of business around the world, of course. So why do we need Firebase? Firebase is a cloud-based platform that offers a wide range of tools and services, building and running web and mobile applications. There are several reasons why you, of course. So I'm just going to explain what Firebase is for. So Firebase is a database where we stores our data. Then we can be able to call those data from using an API. Using your API, then we can be able to call it in our applications. For instance, this okay. So for instance, this app that we are seeing here. Now all these user posts, the posts that people made here. Now we need to store all of it in a database. So whenever we request for it, then we can be able to get it. Because now we have different types of different ways, two ways that we can store our data. We can decide to store our data locally, or we can decide to store it on the cloud. So one of the example of storing a data on the cloud is making use of Firebase. So Firebase can help you to store your data inside of inside of their platform. So I'm going to go to the console, then you can be able to see the interface of Firebase. So we are going to be making use of Firebase to store data whenever we are building our apps on flutterflow. So I have some projects here, so I'm just going to click here. So this is my Firebase database here. Now this is authentication. So if you need to make use of authentications, so we make use of Firebase to authenticate users in our applications. So for instance, though we have different ways of building our database. For instance, if you're going to be building your own database, it's going to take you a lot of time, and it's you might not be or if you want to hire somebody to do that, it's going to cost you a lot of money to build your own database. So now Firebase makes it easier for people to develop their app faster by just giving them creating their database, making use of Firebase. So for instance, we have chat messages. All of those messages that you see on WhatsApp, for instance, they are being stored on cloud. So and that's the reason why if you uninstall your WhatsApp from your phone, and if you install it back, you will still see all of your messages. So for instance, assuming you store your data inside of a local storage, so once you delete it and you change phone, then you are going to lose all of those data instantly. So there won't be any backup for it. So that's the difference between a local storage and a cloud storage. So that's the essence of making use of Firebase. So this is just an ID for this chat hello that is here. This is test, this timestamp, and also the group chat here. So this Firebase is a no SQL, not in form of table. You don't arrange. This is how Firebase they arrange their own in form of columns. So these are columns here. So this is what Firebase is about. Then I'm going to show you the authentications. So now, for instance, I have this user sign in on this account, my application. So and I have their details here. So this is the place you'll be seeing all of their details. This is their email, then their user ID. So then their password is not always. We don't collect their password. So Firebase handles that because there is always a rules governing all of these things that we collect online. So this is the user ID. So and then this is sign-in method. You can decide to make use of email or password or Google, and you can also add another provider. For instance, you can add Google, Facebook authentications, gameplay authentication, GitHub authentications, Yahoo, Twitter, Microsoft. So these are big tech companies that have their own authentication systems. So those are methods that we can use to sign in to, or log or sign up to their account. So email templates, this is where you write your personal email templates that you want to. Once a user sign in, then there is going to be an automated email that will be sent to their email. So this is where you edit all of those things, password resets and all. So that's all about. I mean, that's basically what Firebase is. There are a lot of things that you can use Firebase for. So, well, for now, this is what we are going to be making use of Firebase just to store our data. So we have fast real-time database. There are some extensions also for, especially for push notifications. So Firebase is very useful for that. Crashlytics, performance, and all of it. So that's what Firebase is used for. So okay. So this is already 35 minutes. So I planned on hosting this meeting for just 30 minutes. So I'm going to stop here. So just a brief recap to what we've learned today. So we've talked about this flutterflow. This is the interface of flutterflow that you're going to be seeing and you're going to be making use of every day. That when you're building your applications, this is where you lay out your widgets. These are widgets here. You can decide to drag this here. This is the card. So card, you can decide to change the color or anything here. So this is stack. I'm going to be teaching us what stack is for in our next class, expandable and all of it. This is a video player widget. All of these things, if you are going to be making use of all of these things, and you are going to, especially if you are coding for Flutter, like this video player, you have to code this video player from scratch. If you are making use of Flutter, especially if you are using Flutter, you have to code it from scratch, and you have to make sure that all of it work. But here Flutterflow has already done all of the hard work for us. Then all you need to do is just to drag the widget in form of widgets. Just drag it and then you make use of it. So you can decide the path of for the video. This is where you set the path, the URL path for the video. So and where then we have checkbox, web view, all of, so there are lots of widgets that you can play around with here. So then I talked about widget tree. This is where all the widgets that you laid out on your screen, this is where you're going to see them. So then also some things that you can do, like if I right click, then I can be able to see, I can copy these widgets, I can duplicate it, I can wrap it. So what wrap simply means is that you want to wrap with another widget. So you want to wrap it inside of a widget. You can decide to use stack or use wrap it as another container or a role. So let me see, I'm going to wrap this inside of a container. So now you can see this container, because container has always the default width for in Flutterflow is always 100 pixels, and that's why it wrapped it this way. And you can decide to remove it to bring it outside. You can see. So now the button is not taking the width again. So okay, actually I wrapped it in two containers. So I can, okay, there's a card also here. So that's the reason. Now we can see it there. So we can wrap widgets inside of another widget. So that's what it's for. Now these are the pages that we have. We have our home page here, and also we have our login page. So like I said, these are just a storyboard to describe. For instance, I'm going to go to what's it called, Figma design. I don't know what's wrong with my net, so this is taking time to load. Okay, I'm just going to now the reason why I want to show you Figma is because I want to show you how storyboard works. So storyboard is just for you to describe to maybe the clients that this is the flow of how your app is going to be. Then you add you add another screen here. So then you describe this, after this screen is going to go to another screen. So this is just to tell a story about what you are developing about. So I also talked about database. This is the database. Like we looked at, this is Fire. We can see Firebase here. So this is when you integrate your Firebase database and you connect this Firebase with your Flutterflow app. So every details, I mean, that you want to collect from my app, they are going to go directly into the Firebase database. So this is where you create your database. Now we also have a local state. This is app state, meaning we are going to be looking at this very soon also. Now API. Now this is API. This API also, like for instance, maybe you want to implement, like, okay, you want to implement PayPal inside of your application. So we make use of API. So API simply stands for application. My call is going to be ending in next 10 minutes. So this is like Figma design. We are going to be designing something like this very soon, the next class. Application, what's it called? Project interface, or what's it called? So let me, I forgot this API meaning for. So application programming interface. So API stands for in context of API. The word of API refers to software with distinct functions. So you use API to just communicate with another software. So that's what API is meant for. So this is going to be the end of this tutorial today. So by next week we are going to continue. So I'm going to take question within 10 minutes because currently now I have about 9 minutes. So is there any questions? Do you have any questions that you want to ask, please? You can unmute your mic, please, or signal. Okay, it's Johnny Emmanuel, please. Unmute your mic and talk, please.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, yeah. Yeah, I'm listening.
Good evening. So my question is,
Okay.
So flutterflow, can it only work? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I said, can flutterflow only work for app development, or
No.
we can make use of it for both app development?
Yeah, no, yeah. Like I said,
website
okay, maybe
development as well.
Yeah. Maybe you actually came late. I said flutterflow can be used to develop both application, desktop applications, and also a web application. For instance, if I go to the settings here and I come to platforms, now you can see. So in case if I want to develop for web, I want to include web in my developments, I can decide to switch this on. So also for Mac OS, for Windows, so you can use flutterflow to develop all of those software too. So I believe I answered your question.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Is there any other question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Did anyone want to ask any question? Okay. Mr. Bayo, you can unmute your mic, please. Fashion Bayo, please unmute your mic. Okay.
Evening.
Good evening.
Evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My question is, how can we get the web kit tools? How can we get it? How to download or what?
No, you don't need to download. All you need is just a browser. Like the browser that they support. That is very much of supportive to what flutterflow is. You make use of a browser on your laptop or a desktop. You are using make use of desktop. So you make use of Chrome browser. I'm making use of Chrome browser right now. So you don't need to install anything. It's just a web applications that you just need to sign in. Then you are going to come to this dashboard, and you can begin to develop whatever you want to develop.
Okay, how can we sign into that where the?
Okay, maybe okay. Now, for instance, this is once you log in flutterflow.io, then this is what you're going to first see. So you can decide to sign in if you've registered already, or you can decide to start for free. So if you start for free, or already I've signed in, so it's not going to take me to the sign in page. So it's going to take you to the sign in page where you are going to enter your details. Like, okay, for instance, now you can decide to create accounts using Gmail, Apple Mail, or GitHub Mail, Windows Mail. So, or you can decide to enter all of these details. Then you sign it, you create an account. Then you are going to land on this screen here. You are going to land on this screen.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Yes. So is there any question, please? Is there anyone that wants to ask any question? Okay, Omotola, please you can unmute your mic. Omotola, please unmute your mic. Okay. Omotola. Okay. So I believe nobody is having any question. So we're going to be ending the meeting now. So the written tutorial is going to be available. We are going to send a message on the group when it's going to be available, and also we are going to, for the video also, when it's going to be available on YouTube channel, we are going to send it. So in case you miss anything, you can easily just go to the your YouTube channel, then you can decide to watch it there, or if you like to read articles, then you can decide to read it from there. So starting from next week, we are going to build a simple applications talking about authentications, how we can be able to integrate Firebase in our application. So that's that for now. And in the midst of, yeah, sure, you'll be expecting a video. I'll send a video. I mean, I'm going to send a link where you are going to watch the video. So in the midst of no question, I'm going to be ending the meeting now. I hope you guys enjoy the class. Please signify if you enjoy the class, so I'll know that. Okay, or maybe there's anything that you need me to add, or maybe I need to speak very well. Please signify. uh all right, thank you very much. So I'm going to be enjoying the class, so we are going to be meeting next week Saturday. So thank you very much for attending. So bye bye for now.